Right, so I'm doing this one because of a popular request, and I want to get this thing done once and for all. It's about how to copy files or files or folders from your local computer to a remote computer, and then also copy files from a remote computer onto your local computer. This is necessary because as data is growing and growing, the kind of computers we have, they don't have the capacity to be able to handle the data. So you keep it in a remote computer called a server. And so anytime you want, then you can get it in from there, or you can work with it on that particular place. And then maybe when you finish working, you need to bring the results onto your own computer and then have it. You see, so this is how it works. For you to be able to copy any file or folder onto a remote computer and work with it over there, you require a terminal. It can be Ubuntu terminal. It can be Ubuntu terminal on Windows. It can be Ubuntu terminal on MacBook or Mac OS operating system. They all have terminals. So you open the terminal and then you use the address of the server. Once it is a remote computer and it is sitting far away from where you are, there must be an address that can let you be able to connect to it. So to be able to connect to it, you need to have a terminal. So I'm going to open my terminal now and then show us how to be able to do that. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I'm sharing my screen right now. So let me use this sharing mode. Okay, this looks quite better. So if I come here, what is it? If I pick this is my terminal. So I'm going to close it up and open it all over again. So it is opening at the moment. And so it is opened. So that's how the terminal looks like. Now, when it is open like this, then you use this particular terminal and connect it to the server. Then open another terminal, and that one is connected. That one is your local computer. At the moment, this particular terminal I have here is the terminal on my computer. I can use this one and navigate around my computer and know where to pick a file here or pick this and then this. And then I am good to go. For instance, if I run this small code, it means that I am on my downloads now. I can check all the things in my downloads. For instance, I can go there and then, or I can go to another folder like this. I'm just going to tap on this and do this. So if I do ls, these are all folders which are seated in this particular folder called my Mycobacterium, Mycofortitum. So they are all there. Now let's assume that this is the terminal I am using on my local computer now. So I'm using this one to navigate around my computer to get anything at all that I want. So for instance, I can copy a file from one end to the other just within my computer. I can look for a file somewhere. I can create new folders called directories. I can create new files by using some functions like touch or whatsoever. So for at the moment, that terminal is connected to my computer. Now, but I've noticed that I want to pick some information to a local computer far away from here. So I have to open another terminal and connect that terminal to that computer seated there. So let me come to my Ubuntu again. I'm going to right click, then I'll open. So this local one, that this second terminal I have opened, I want to connect it to a computer seated far away, not here. That computer is seated far away, let's say in Tunisia. And so what will I do? I need to get the address to that particular computer where I want to connect to. So it's always like this, SSH, because the administrator would have given you some kind of address. If not, you cannot just connect to any one like that. So this is my address to a server seated far away from here. So I have this, then I have this, then I have So if I run this, it's going to ask me of my password, and then I'm going to put my password there. So, and then I'll just do like this. If I enter, now you can see that I am connected to the local computer. So you can see that this is the name of the server, which is far away from here. It is called back G4. That's the name of the server. So now that I am connected over there, it connects me automatically to the portion of the server that belongs to me. So if I do ls, you will see that I have just one folder which is seated over there. Now, if I want to copy any information from my local computer now to this particular computer I have connected now, I've connected to a computer called back G4, which is far away from Ghana. All right. So I now want to make sure that I copy some files which is on my local computer seated right now with me into this particular computer called back G4, which is far away. So let's get this copy in and copy out in clearly. Okay. So if I go to that local computer there, I'm not the only person who is using it. So I have my own section. So this address that I used to connect it, that's my own section. By my own section, I'm not working with only one folder or one file. Maybe I'm working with so many folders. So, or I want to have so many folders seated there. So I can create a folder there. Let's say I want to create a folder on that particular remote computer. Now I'm working on a remote computer. So I'll just simply say make directory, and I'm going to call that HP underscore, then I'll call it genomes. So if I do that, I've created that particular folder and it is seated there. So if I should change directory to HP like this, you will see that I have created that particular folder which is seated there. All right. So now let's get back to my own computer here. So to be able to, so I'm leaving this one out at the moment, and I'm getting to my own local computer. So this is my local computer where I am now. Okay. So on this my local computer, I want to copy some files onto the remote computer I just spoke about momentarily. So what I want you to pay attention is that if you are copying anything from your computer to a remote machine, you copy it, you use the terminal that is on your local computer. This particular terminal, this second terminal here, you cannot do any copying from here. You cannot do any movement from here. Okay. So nothing you can what you can do here for now in terms of copying. The only thing you can do on this local computer is by running codes, and the codes will work here. But that is all about it. You run a code and the code will do something, get the results, and everything will be seated here. But when you want that results to make sense from it, or to now put it on your report or whatsoever, you need to also copy it to your local computer. And then in both cases, whether you are copying to a server, you are copying out of a server, you always use the terminal which is connected to your local computer, which is this bigger terminal I have here. So now I am going to copy some kind of folder. I'm going to copy a folder and take it all the way to that particular remote server. And let's look at how to do it. So now this terminal is connected to my local computer. If you say local computer, it means my laptop. My laptop that I'm using here is my local one. Local means where you are. That's your local environment. So if I say local computer, the one I am using, that one is the remote. The one I'm holding is the local. I'm emphasizing this because I know what people are going through. All right, so I'm first of all going to check whether that particular folder I want to copy is there. So I'm going to say list, and then I'm going to do this and find out whether it is there. So I'm going to say I think I have some file like that. Yes, it is there. So there is a folder called HP underscore genomes. If I run it, you will see all the files which are there. You see, there are genomes which are there, but I cannot work on this. So I want to copy it onto a remote computer. And I've already connected myself to that remote computer. So now I just want to clear my screen. Then I'll come here. The easiest way to do this is that once you are copying to a remote computer, you start with S, C, and P, and then followed by a space. If you are copying a file, then you don't have to add anything. If you are copying a folder is made of files. So you specify -R. It means you are copying a folder. Where are you copying from? If you are copying from your local computer to the remote computer, you begin with the address of your local computer and then you leave a space and add the address of the remote computer. So it will copy it from your local computer to the remote one. That's how it works. So now, before you do this, the easiest way to do this is to come here and do pwd. It will give you your current working directory. So my current working directory is this. So also go to the local computer, the remote computer, and then also come there, because I've created a folder called HP_genomes. That's why I want to copy the file for them to come and sit down. So I also come there and say pwd. Then it will give me this. This is what we call the absolute path, what I'm highlighting here. So now leave it this way. Now come back to your local computer here and now start the copying. So I will say SCP. The S means server. You are copying to a server. Then I'm copying what? I'm copying the folder. So I'll put -R, followed by where am I copying it from? I need to get the address. I am copying it from my local computer. And where is the address of my local computer? It is here. The address of my local computer is here. So I'll simply come and highlight that one. And then I'll just put, and then I'll come and put it here. But if I leave it this way, it means I am copying downloads. I'm copying everything in my downloads onto the remote computer. No, that's not what I want. What I want is rather HP_genomes. So I'll put here /, and then I will put HP_ this and use tab. It will continue it, and that's all. So it means I am copying everything here. So this is the absolute path to where that particular folder is. The folder is found under downloads, and that folder is called HP_genomes. So why am I copying it to? I'm copying it to a remote computer. So I'll put a space here like this, but that's where I said do this. So when you do this, when I did the pwd, it also gives me the address to my local computer. So I'll simply also come here and copy something like this. And then here, so I'll come back to my local computer here, but I cannot paste it. If I paste it, that address will not lead me. So I have to give the full address to the local computer, the remote one. So I have to give a full address to the remote computer where I'm copying it to. So the address is SSH. This time I don't have to use the SSH. I can just use my name. What is it? Bigba@192.168.0.154. But when you do that, then you now put colon. Now, this is the address to the local computer. To the remote computer. But I just said that the remote computer called a server. You are not the only person there. There are too many people there inside that computer working. Like 1,000 people are inside working. Everybody has a space. So now this is the address to the computer, but not the address to the specific section where that belongs to you. So the specific section that belongs to you is the one that I copied from the local one, is the one that I made the pwd. It means that when I get to the server, I have to go to my home, get to the section called Bigba, and get to this particular folder, and then that is where I want to copy the things to. So when I copy, the information will first of all pass through the address of the server, that's the computer. Then when it gets to the computer, it will look for where it's supposed to go. Then it will look for home, go and look for BigBar, look for genomes, and put the information there. And that's how it works. So I come here, I'll just, let me copy it again. See, and then like this. So now when I come to my local computer here, where my cursor is blinking, I'll just add it there. Then I'll right click and then it will add. Now I finished. When you have done this, you now click enter. It will now copy it all the way to your local, to copy it all the way to the remote computer. If I click enter now, it will ask me of a password. What I have done here in essence is that I am copying a folder for my downloads. So what I simply do is I do pwd. I'll have to make sure that I navigate to downloads, and then I do pwd to get the absolute path to my downloads. And that is what I have done here. But within the downloads, I'm not copying the entire downloads. I am copying a particular folder under downloads. So I have to put / and bring that particular folder. And then it also gives me this. Now, that's where I am copying from. To where? To a remote computer. What is the address of the remote computer? I'll put the address there. When I get to the remote computer, what is the address to the specific area of the remote computer that you want to copy the folder to? Then I now put that particular address there. And then when I'm done, that's all. Then I'll do enter. It will ask me of my password. And then I'll type my password like this. And then when you do enter, then it will start copying. You see that it has started copying everything. It's copying everything like that. It's copying it like that until it has finished copying everything to the remote computer. And when you go to the remote computer, you see that all these files you are seeing copied right now, everything will now be seated there. This is how we copy from your local computer onto a remote computer. When this is done, I will show us how to copy from a remote computer onto your local computer. It is done. It is done like that. So when it is done, now go to your local, the remote computer here. It has copied everything into this folder called HP_genomes. Now, if I do ls, you will see that it is now seated called HP_genomes. So I can do cd into, and then it will simply do like this. So if I list it, you see that all of them, you see all of them, just like the way they were here. You can see Cameroon, the same Cameroon is here. It has copied it. So this terminal, the small terminal you are seeing here, is the one that is connected to the remote computer. And so that everything that is now here is also over there. And that is how it works. It's so simple. Now, let me minimize this. Then also come here and clear this. Now we have learned how to copy from my local computer, something from my local computer to a remote computer. Now you've gone to the remote computer to do all your analysis there. Now you want to copy the results back to your local computer. What do? It's just changing the thing back. It's just swapping the address. That way, you now start with, for instance, the address to the you are copying scp dash. Are you copying a file or a folder? So if I'm copying a file, I will not bring anything. If I'm copying a folder, I'll put like this. In this case, let's say that I am copying a file. So I'll just leave it like this. And then where am I copying from? I am copying from a remote machine. What is the address of the remote machine? You put it there. You put the address of the remote machine there. The address of the remote machine where I have done the work and the work is seated there is, this is the address. Then you have BigBar at 192.168.0. Then I have .154. But when you go to that place, you are looking for the space. This is the address of the server. You can't copy everything from the server. You want to copy a specific portion. So I have to indicate column and also find out where is the file that I want to copy. So that's why I always say when you open the two terminals, like here, when you come here, this is the folder in which you want to copy the file from. So once that folder is active, you simply do pwd, and then it will give you this. So when it gives you, this is the absolute path to where that file is seated on the remote computer. So you copy it, come back to your local computer and add it here. So it means I am copying a file, and that file is found in this remote computer, which address is bigbar at 192.168 and this and this. When I get to that remote computer, the specific area of the remote computer where the file is hiding, this is the absolute path to it. Home bigbar what is it, underscore genomes, and another underscore another / genomes, and then you do another one here and now specify the file name. So the file name, let's assume that I wanted something like let's say I wanted something like Cameroon. So let me come and just pick any of them here. Cam underscore 22A1. So yeah, so cam underscore, and then you use tab 22A1. I'm sure just a minute. So let me get the name of the file properly. You need to know the name of the file. So let's say this is .faster. So I'm going to, I can just copy it. I can just do like this. And then here, just copy it. And then come to this place. And then that's where I am copying this particular file all the way from this particular, this is the absolute path all the way from the remote computer onto what? My local computer here. Okay? Onto my local computer right now. So I have to now also give the address of my local computer. I have to give the address of my local computer right now. Okay? And the address of my local computer right now, maybe I should have done that earlier, but I can still get it. It's not too far. PWD is always the easiest way to do it. So I will simply just put this, come and copy this. And then I'm going to go all the way. Come here and then put it. So it means I am copying something from a remote server or remote computer call, and this is the address of the remote computer. I'm copying it from a specific section, and this is the absolute path to the specific section. And then I'm copying a file, so it ends with the name of the file. Then I give a space, and then when I come here, then I'm copying it to my own local computer. And my own local computer, I'm copying it to downloads. Okay. So when I copy it, it will come and be in my downloads. That's it. So if I run it now, maybe there was a space somewhere that I didn't. I suspected it. So I'm going to do this, and then it will ask me of my password. So I'll simply put my password there, and then I'll run it. It has finished because it's a file. It's a small file. Everything has finished. So now, if I come to my local, computer now, this particular file called Cameroon underscore 22A1.faster has been copied onto my local computer now. It is now seated here. So if I wanted to visualize it, I can now do something like, let's say, head, and then n, maybe 10. I just want to see the 10 lines of that's, and then it is there. So if I do like this, it will print the first 10 lines for me, and then I can now see it there. So you see that they are down all here. I can see the first 10 lines. This is how you are able to copy from your local computer onto a remote computer and also copy the results from your remote computer back to your local computer. And so this is very important. If you're in a bioinformatics or in data science, if you cannot do this, I keep saying the computers we are using are too small. They don't have the capacity to be able to handle big time data. So you need what is a remote computer to be able to work with them. So to get a remote computer, you should be able to know how to work with a remote computer. And then, for instance, now that I have copied it there, so now this is now the remote computer. I can come here and run any code here. I can run any code here right now. I can say, let's say I want, like I can say abricate, right? And then I'll just come here and say maybe I want to find out, and then something like this. So I want to find out the antibiotic resistant gene which is found in this particular genome. So I'll just do abricate and add it. And maybe I can just decide to do like this, and then I'll just put here Cameroon, maybe dots, maybe a CSV. So I want the output to be a CSV file. That's all. It's going to print, it's going to look for the antibiotic resistant genes for me. But at this point, I am working on a remote computer. It's not for me. Let's assume that I was going to look for this information in like 10,000 samples. That will be something I can do on my computer. But now when I run it, even though you have seen it here, it is working remotely. So if I do like this, it will start saying what is simply running, but it tells me that abricate is not found, which means I've not installed abricate on the local computer. Sorry, on the remote computer. So I needed to have installed it there. So here I can be working like this. So this terminal you are looking at as I'm working, even though it's the same computer, you are looking at everything there I'm doing, but it's not here. That computer is seated far away. And this is how to be able to interact with remote computers. You could connect it to more than like 2 different remote computers. And then you are working on all of them at the same time. When you finish, you copy the results all the way back to your local computer and begin to do your analysis and whatsoever, or write your report or whatsoever. So this is how it works. This is completely different from when you are copying from within your computer. When you are copying within your computer, you don't need SCP. You don't need this one, SCP. You use only SCP when you're copying to a remote computer or you are copying from a remote computer. But when you're copying within your own computer, you don't need SCP. If you are copying within the server, from one part of the server to another part of the server, you don't need SCP. You just need CP, like this. All right? Then, if you are using -R, it means you are copying a folder. If you don't bring -R, you are copying a file. Just get these differences, and it becomes so clear. I hope I've been able to assist all of us to be able to understand this basic thing. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye. All right, so that's the video of today, and if you still is not getting it, please let me know what it is. Thank you. I'll see you. Bye-bye.